Hello and welcome back to our channel where we do things, make things, buy things to make our house a home. And today I'm duping a thing, and that thing I'm duping is an Indonesian stone currency disc from Restoration Hardware. The discs come in several different sizes on the Restoration Hardware website, but I'm gonna just make whatever I can get out of this foam board. And I have a very technical, very precise circle measuring tool to use. Yep, the top to my ottoman. It's a circle and it will work. And obviously now to cut it out. And I have to make a second circle. My two circles are cut out, and now I have to cut out the center. So I found another circle measuring device. I'm going to put that in the middle and cut this out, but I guess I should sort of measure. Even though my shapes are cut out, it looks like I'm trying to do some kind of like 60s diner motif here. No, that's not what I want. I want to make these discs, I want them to look like stone. Online, the Restoration Hardware discs look like they bulge out in the middle and they're tapered on the edges. So that's what I'm going to try now. I've cut out a strip the width of a ruler, and now I'm scoring the back side. Once scored, I can bend this into a collar. This seems to have done the trick, so now I just have to attach it, like permanently. Sweet. Okay, hot glue, come on. I'm gonna let that cool down and harden before I put the other side on. I think we're ready for the next side. Okay, now I just need to let it completely cool down, and then we can taper the edges. My idea for cinching together is just to hot glue and then add some clips. I have to make sure I leave some access for these to go in and out, because these are going to be the supports to hold my little disc up. While this is cooling, I'm going to make the part that just glues onto here to kind of give it some dimension. There's just like a little ring that goes around here. So let's make one of those, actually two of those.
This is the last bit of hot gluing I need to do, so I just need to add this little detail right over the middle. Everything's glued, and the next step is to seal all the seams. I'm going to be sealing the seams using drywall tape and drywall compound. I bought a really big jug of this, so I better find ways to use it. As you can see, it's not fitting really nicely because I'm trying to make it go around a circle. So I'm just gonna cut little slits so it's all nice and flexible. Does that make it more flexible? Either way, whatever it does, it's gonna make it work. Now for the other side, I'm gonna cut opposite, like cut in the middle. I'm going to be doing each side separately. So I'm gonna finish one side, then flip it over and then do the other side. What I'm going to be doing is just gluing on this tape. So I'm adding some lovely plaster. It's like icing a cake, really. But like, you don't have to be good at it. You can be really messy, which is why I like doing it. So once I have a nice thin coat on, it's not like super thin, but it's not thick either. I'm just gonna stick this on. And because I've made these cuts, the flaps fold over on each other and it will stick nice. So I'm just gonna do that all the way around. Time to flip over. The edges are done, and now I just have to do the middle. For the inner circle, I'm just following the same process I did for the outer circle. While everything is drying, I'm going to paint these black. My original thought was to spray paint them, but I feel like with all the coats of drywall compound I'm going to be doing, I feel like I'll just dirty them up, so I'll just be able to repaint them if I just paint them like this. Everything's dry, and my next step is to glue in my support legs. It's like I'm a drummer, just I have no rhythm. And I'm going to be using some lovely E6000 and hot glue. Step before the fun part. All I need to do is close up that seam with some of the tape. And what I mean by fun part is I'm going to be mixing up some of the drywall compound with different paints. I have several creams, like a really tanny darker cream, really light cream, and then just some other shades. I'm gonna just mix up something until I like it, and then I spread it all over. So, roll the montage. purposely am applying a thin layer of the drywall compound. I know it's going to need several layers and it will dry more evenly and quicker the thinner the layer. That's the thing with these projects using drywall compound. They aren't difficult, but it takes a while because of all the drying time. The material is really easy and smooth to spread, and it sticks well to the foam board. It's really like icing a cake. I'm now going to leave this for several hours to dry before moving on to the other side. I've decided to tape off part of the support legs just so I can feel more comfortable going around them with the mud. Now that my taping job is hidden, my focus is on building up the center to make this look more like the discs from the inspo picture. There's a center ring and then a pronounced plateau until it falls off at the edges. That's what I'm working on. I'm in my coveralls because it's time for sanding, and that's going to be a messy job. After I'm done sanding, I'm going to do one more skim coat, and then we're getting close to being done. This last layer serves a few purposes. I want to patch up any cracks, and I want to add some more texture and age, and I want to add some color. As you've noticed, every time I did a new layer, I've mixed up a new batch of compound. And I did that on purpose. So instead of having one uniform color, this way when I sand it down, different shades will come through. Oh yes, and to this mix, I'm going to be adding some water to thin it out. I want this to be more of a thin layer that I can just spread out easily on top. The last coat needs to dry, which gives me time to work on the base. I'm using this piece of wood that I found in our scrap pile as my base. I did age it and beat it up so it looks like it's from antiquity. I did that off camera because I feel like this video is already way too long, and I plan on doing another video showing how to age wood and make it look nice and beat up. But right now I need to stain it, and I picked up this stain called Flagstone, and it's a medium tone stain, and I think it'll look really nice against the dark wood that this will be sitting on. So let's go back to the garage, freeze a little, and stain this. This isn't quite dry yet. There's still some patchy parts where you can tell it's damp, but right now I want to try dry brushing on some darker colors like these blacks and browns so that when I sand it, I can get more depth and more character. Well, that's my theory at least. So let's try dry brushing. Dry brushing is when you get a little bit of paint on your paintbrush and then you brush most of it off. I'm just doing it on a scrap piece of paper here. And then go over your image just lightly and brush it. And now for the aging part. I have every brown, black, gray, cream paint that I have out, and I'm going to put them all over my lovely, I don't know, worksheet. And then I'm just going to be stippling around, trying to mimic what the inspiration picture looks like. I'm going to start in the middle and work my way out. And so I'm going to be working on the dark side first. Let's have some fun. rubbing against the paint or rubbing on the paint, and it's giving it like a really worn in look, kind of really aging it with the coffee grinds. I've been at this for about an hour now, and I'm at the very tail end, so I just need to dab on some white around this part here that just looks kind of boring, and then rub more coffee all over it. The coffee has really been just giving it a really good texture. It's not that the coffee's sticking to it, just kind of rubs the paint. So here's my last hurrah for this one side, and then I have the whole other side to do. So yesterday, I was so excited that I was almost done. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's coming together good. I loved how great it was looking up close, like the texture, I was really happy. And then I picked it up and kind of propped it up and was like, hey Ralph, what do you think? And he's like, oh, it looks super splotchy. So I stepped back and looked at it, and yeah, it looked it looked so bad from a distance. Up close, I love how it looks, but from a distance, it just looked like splatters of brown, white. So I let it dry, and today I'm going to continue working on it. And maybe today, if I devote my entire day to this, I'll finally finish one side. Huh. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna crack on and get some painting done. One side is done, I think. This is what it looks like. Don't know how well you can see that, but it does look like stone. I mean, it looks kind of cool. I don't know if this window is making it not great on the camera, but I think this side's good. I still have this side to do, but I want this to dry. While this is drying, I'm going to work on the base. All I need to do with the base is wax it to seal it, and then eventually drill the holes and attach everything. But right now, I'm going to wax this. To seal and wax my base, I'm going to be using this Minwax finishing wax, which works great. It just smells disgusting. I always forget. But you have to buff within 10 minutes of applying it. So I'm gonna be buffing after I make sure it's all covered. Dupe is done, holes are drilled, and we're ready to assemble. So I've gathered up as many heavy books as I can to be my brace. This is very technical. So, you know, if you want to copy my great ideas, go ahead. That's why I'm here. I'm just going to fill the holes with some wood glue. Ooh. I had some sawdust fly up. Okay, I think I'm just gonna leave it like this to dry. This dupe did take longer than I expected, but it was definitely a bargain. I spent $3 on the foam board, and the supports were a 6-pack for a couple dollars, so I don't know, let's say 75 cents. The mud, tape, paint, all of that was, I just used what I had on hand from and for other projects, so I really didn't spend any money on that. But if I had to put a value on how much I did spend, I would say less than $10. And the base was just a cutoff from our scrap pile, so that was definitely a freebie. Altogether, I spent less than $15. It may have taken a while, but it was definitely on the cheap. And after I put it out and Ralph walked by, he actually said it does look like stone from a distance. And even up close, I don't mind what it looks like. It may not have turned out exactly as the original, but for the cost, I think it's perfect. Now, what would I have done differently? First, I thought that maybe I would have made it smaller, but then after looking at it sitting out on the table, I think it's perfect, that nice big size. But the one thing I definitely do differently, and what I recommend to do differently, is start off with your dark color. I should have started off with like a black, done black paint, maybe mix that in with the mud, and did that as my base, and then added the lighter colors on top. I think that would have looked better and been easier. Well, you live and learn. It's a dupe, I guess.
Well, that's it for this one. But for more DIYs, dupes, and decor, remember to subscribe and give this video a like. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Is it snowing? Oh, it's snowing. More snow. Okay, no, this is wrong. Less snow, more cats, okay? I've had enough. Do you know that in France, Billy had a barbecue already? Yeah, and I have snow and no cats. Okay, but I'm gonna make myself a coffee after this, I think, just because I deserve it. No, I probably don't, but I'm still making a coffee. Okay, good, okay. Let's get to work! Stuff needs to get done!
Was that okay, Ralph? Oh, look, it's all blurry in the background. I love that. I wish it was a little blurry here. A little pores and stuff.
Maybe next time I should put my glasses on too.